has an excused absence. All right, we will move on to approval agenda. Staff, are there any changes to the agenda?
No, there are no changes.
If there are no changes, I would need a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I second.
Motion by Commissioner Sanchez and a second by Commissioner Pizer to approve the agenda.
Point of order, you need to ask the clerk to call a roll call vote.
Clerk, can you call a roll call, please?
Commissioner Camacho,
Aye.
Pizer,
Aye.
Sanchez,
Aye.
Simmons. Oh. And Yoshan.
Aye. All right, we'll move on to minutes of our previous meeting for January 14, 2025. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of January 14, 2025.
I motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting 14th, 2025. I second.
Motion by Commissioner Pizer and a second by Commissioners Camacho to approve the minutes. Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Camacho,
Aye.
Pizer,
Aye.
Sanchez,
Aye.
and Yoshan.
Aye. All right, we will move on to public comment. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons wanting to address the commission only on matters not listed on this agenda. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes unless additional time is needed for translation. Please state your name and address for the record before making your presentation. Is there anybody on live? Oh, seeing none, so we will move on to the public hearing. All right, public hearing. Should anyone challenge any proposed action which is the subject of a public hearing listed on this agenda, that person challenging any action taken after the public hearing may be limited to raising only those issues addressed at the public hearing in this notice, or written correspondence delivered to the Planning Commission at or prior to this public hearing. All right, we will move on to our first item. Staff, can you present, please?
Yes. This item is, and we'll wait a moment to have the presentation come up. This is amendment number 1 to development agreement number 23-21 related to revised tentative track map number 7244, which is in the Marcona Preserve specific plan area. As you can see, there are 2 tracks within the Marcona Preserve specific plan area, namely 7244, which this development agreement is controls, and there is another track 7483, which used to be the former school site that we did a specific plan amendment for about a year or so ago. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So, as you can recall, development agreement number 23-21 was recorded last year, in the spring of last year, between the city and Lennar Homes of California. The development agreement guides the development of track number 7244, including clarifying the project scope. It establishes land use, zoning, and terms. It sets development timelines, defines infrastructure obligations, et cetera, et cetera. After the approval of the development agreement, the owner of the track, the former school site, which is now tentative track 7483, reached out to staff. They made us aware that when the development agreement was recorded, the legal description attached to the development agreement inadvertently included the property for track number 7483, which it should not have. Therefore, when the development agreement was recorded, it was recorded against the property for 7483 inadvertently. So the grant deed for the property that encompasses that tract now currently has an entry stating that the property must comply with the development agreement, which is incorrect. So the purpose of this item is to correct this error by replacing the current legal description in the DA with a new legal description that rightfully excludes the property for tentative tract number 7483 from the area that must comply with Development Agreement 23-21. And in turn removes the requirement to comply with the development agreement for that tract. Just to make you aware, 7483 will still need a development agreement, but it'll have its own development agreement. And that will be coming forward at a future date. And the condition will, or the commission rather, will have an opportunity to review and recommend approval of that future DA for tentative tract number 7483. Go ahead, next slide. And with that, staff recommends that you conduct hearing and then adopt resolution number 25-456 rather, recommending approval of amendment number 1 to development agreement number 23-21 to the city council. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Steve, I was reading it earlier with so it was just a typo?
Actually, in the legal description, which was reviewed by myself, the city engineer, the city land surveyor, as well as being developed by the land surveyor for Lennar, didn't realize that there was one little portion of that that legal description referencing a lot A in the legal description. That lot A of a previous map was the former school site. So it was literally 2 words, lot A, in that legal description. And when it got recorded and then the county reviewed the legal description, they incorporated that parcel along with the other parcels for tract 7244 into the requirements for that DA and then recorded it against all the various deeds in that area. So what we're doing is replacing the legal description in the development agreement with a new legal description that excludes that lot A. And then therefore it'll get re-recorded and that hopefully the the requirement on the deed for tract 7483 will be removed. And then the requirement for the DA will no longer be placed on that grant deed.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
And this error was caught by Lennar, or
It was actually caught by the owners of 7483, Franmar Company. They gave me a call and said, hey, we were looking at our grant deed and we noticed this line that says we have to comply with this development agreement. And they said, well, we're not part of that tract. And so when we started to look into it, we realized, oh, shoot, the legal description included that parcel. And so we said, of course, we need to fix this for you. I reached out to Lennar. Lennar graciously said, sure, we'll allow you to, because it is their development agreement, we'll allow you to do an amendment 1 to exclude that parcel from our development agreement. And they're the ones that actually even gave me the legal description. And then I had it reviewed because I didn't want to make another mistake, I had it re-reviewed by our land surveyor here, the city's land surveyor, and he said, yeah, it now excludes that parcel from the legal description.
There's no existing plans out there for 7483 right now.
We're currently working through tentative tract map process, but as part of that, their conditions of approval include the need to, before they start to build, to enter into a development agreement. So that's why I said at some future date, you're gonna consider a development agreement for that tract.
Okay.
questions, Commissioner?
No.
No.
All right, I will now open the public hearing on this item. If there's anyone in the public who wishes to speak on this item, if so, please give your name and address for the record. Anybody on live? Seeing none, I will now close the public hearing. So I will need a motion to adopt Resolution 25-456, recommending the City Council approve and adopt execution of a First Amendment to Development Agreement number 23-21 for revised tentative track number 7244.
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 25-456, recommending the City Council approve and adopt execution of a First Amendment to Development Agreement number 23-21 for revised tentative track number 7244.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Commissioner Sanchez and a second by Commissioner Pizer to approve adopt Resolution 25-456, recommending the City Council approve and adopt execution of a First Amendment to Development Agreement number 23-21 for revised tentative track number 7244. Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Camacho,
Aye.
Sanchez,
Aye.
Yoshan,
Aye.
and Weiser.
Aye.
All right. It looks like we don't have any next items. Commissioners, do we have any reports?
No, sir. None.
All right. There's no further business to come before the Planning Commission. I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
I motion to close the meeting.
I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
All right.
This meeting is adjourned at 6:13.